Hello everyone and welcome to our Facebook Live Sleeve Chef with our very own Mike Salmon.
Hi everybody, good to see you, Thank you for tuning in.
We have a very special episode tonight. Of course we have our very own Dr. Bello.
Hello, Mike.
And we have our two taste testers, Tina and Missy. And we're gonna introduce them first. Let us know what their name is, who their surgeon was, what they got, right, and their non-scale victory. But first, I would like to thank ABC2 News, the marketing department at GBMC, and the comp department, the Comprehensive Obesity Management Program. All right, so Tina, why don't you go first?
Hello, my name is Tina. I had bariatric surgery on November 13, 2015 with Dr. Dovak. I have lost a total of 80 pounds. My victory was that I was on an airplane last year and I didn't have to use extended seatbelts.
Very good. Awesome. All right.
I am Missy Antonio. I had my surgery about a year and a half ago with Dr. Bello. I had the sleeve surgery and I've lost 80 pounds in surgery and 100 pounds since my highest weight. And my non-scale victory is that I can do burpees not modified.
Oh yeah, that's very good. All right, well thank you so much. Our taste testers are going to sit on the side and they're going to come back at the end of the show, all right? Okay, so now we get to talk about what we're actually cooking.
Indeed.
Okay,
Yes.
so what I want to preface this with is that we are going to be cooking Venezuelan food tonight. So this is the home country of the very own Dr. Bello, and we're going to be talking about the foods, cooking them, and getting a little bit of information on the nutritional content of the food.
Yeah,
Okay?
so we are super excited for the food this evening, everybody. We're doing some really healthy, delicious, fresh Venezuelan food inspired by our fantastic Dr. Bello. We're going to be doing a pabellón criollo, which is basically a flank steak that we're going to braise in a little liquid, and it's going to be nice and juicy, and it's going to be tender, and it'll separate nicely, as you'll see. We'll follow that up with a little Osaka salad, which is it's a fantastic sort of variant of guacamole. Again, really healthy. And then we're also going to do a little cauliflower rice to accompany it, and then finally some. Why am I thinking?
Sofrito.
Sofrito. Thank you, Jana. As always, so some sofrito as well. So guys, this is going to be a super exciting episode. My understanding as well is that Dr. Bello has got some serious knife skills.
Yes.
So we will put those to the test,
And we'll
not only in the surgery room, in the OR, but also in the kitchen. Double threat.
Pressure's on.
Yes.
It doesn't get more authentic with this food.
Yes.
Yes,
That's
very
right.
good.
So
We are so excited. All right, so let's get rocking here, guys. All right, so
Okay.
we are going to start off. Actually, you know what? After you.
Yes. So
alrighty,
You're on,
now.
man.
our sous chef over here.
Yes, indeed. All right. So what we want to do first is we want to go ahead and get our knife here and get our flank steak cut up into 4 even pieces. So let's start
4 even
there.
pieces. I think I can do this.
Yes.
Let's see. I've used something similar to this.
I was gonna say this
before.
should look familiar.
4
4 even pieces. You got it.
Alrighty.
Wonderful.
Okay,
So
and
1.
Perfect.
can he do it?
Oh yeah.
And while
nice
he's
skills.
doing that, I just want to thank Christopher, Jane, Adriana. Hello.
Hi, Adriana. Now the pressure's really on.
Yes.
Wonderful. All right.
It's not allowed to
Perfect.
comment
And
much.
Tia.
All right, so next up, we are going to take some of our mint here. So this looks great, guys. This is exactly what you want.
So this is a lean cut of what?
Yes, this is a lean cut of meat. So this is a flank steak, so it literally sits on the flank of the animal on the
All
side
right.
here. You can always trim it up and get some of the excess fat off of it, but you'll notice it's a very lean cut of meat. You can do both dry cooking methods and moist cooking methods. So you can braise it like we're going to do here, or you can also grill it. I would definitely recommend marinating it ahead of time, as the meat can be a little bit tough. You'll want to, if you're going to cut it, you want to cut it against the grain to shorten up those muscle fibers. All right, so next up, we're going to grab our steak here, pop this bad
And
boy.
this is one of these dishes. I was asking Dr. Bello if you actually eat all of these dishes when you go to Venezuela, when you go home. So,
Absolutely. We actually eat them right now at home.
yeah, that's awesome.
We cook this at home, and this is as authentical food from Venezuela as it gets.
Ah,
Pretty
wonderful.
typical. So
Yeah. And we were kind of having a little trouble thinking, okay, what can we cook tonight? Only because the main piece of the meal is usually a starch. right?
Exactly.
It is. Our food is based off starches, rice, corn, things like that.
Yeah, so, I mean, those are things that, of course, we talk about bringing them back after 6 months if you want to have a little taste of them. But we can also replace them with things like the cauliflower rice that we're going to be making tonight.
Absolutely.
So it was actually kind of easy to switch out some of the things, which made me very happy. So you guys can kind of experiment with different palates in different areas of the world, you know, with cooking.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's really cool.
Keep in mind, guys, there's definitely lots of modifiers out there, so don't feel like you're necessarily limited in the amount of this quality of food that you can eat, or the styles of cuisine that you can try out and have.
Okay, so I'm loving all the herbs that we have.
We're gonna add some celery in. We're also gonna add some fresh mint. Delicious fresh mint.
Oh yes.
Sniff there, man.
Oh, yeah.
If you guys don't have fresh mint in your house or you've never used it, now is the time. I don't know if it's actually in season, but now is the time because it's amazing. And it tastes great in teas, it tastes great in all different types of dishes and stews and any sauces that you have.
Yep, and keep in mind too, guys, for this dish, we are just gonna do some really basic rough chopping here. So just a quick cut. Again, keeping those fingertips tucked in. I'm gonna keep your fingertips tucked in like so. Side of the blade going up against the side of that knuckle right there. Very, very important. Bill knows what I'm talking about. Right?
Okay. So a couple of different people have joined. Katie, Greg, Dawn, Nikki. Thank you so much. And please feel free to ask any questions that you have, especially now that we have Dr. Bello on. All right, thank you, Sandra and Justin and Tom.
All right, so next up we're going to take our red bell pepper here, guys. So I added some green onions, some parsley, some mint. So just some nice fresh aromatics to this dish. Keep in mind we're going to do this like a braise. It's sort of a non-traditional braise. In the traditional braising involves pan searing first, and then adding in a mirepoix, and then adding your meat back in, generally deglazing, and then reducing.
Fancy words.
Yes, all fancy stuff. But for this case, we're actually going to go ahead and add our flank steak in, add some water, then add our aromatics, which are going to be the celery, the mint, the parsley, and our half a bell pepper here.
Yeah, and that's beautiful.
Yeah. So
it already smells good.
Yeah, exactly.
Very colorful, actually.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah, it's going to add this quick in here. You want to make sure that you have enough water in there to cover the beef. You want to go ahead and bring this up to a boil, drop it down to a simmer, and then it's actually going to simmer for a minimum of 3 to 4 hours. You'll see the flank steak itself will start to change color, and it should literally fall off the bone. You may hear that term. That's exactly what it should do. So it should shred very naturally. You should have to do very little pulling.
Okay, and so I have a question here. John asks, when making cauliflower rice, do you blend it raw or cooked? I'm thinking blend by, you mean chop it up. And you're gonna do that when it's raw, because if you did it when it was cooked, it would probably get a little bit mushy, I would assume. And it's much easier to handle it when it's just dried and raw as it is. All right, and hello, Melissa. Hello, Mary. Okay, and Brian's watching, and we're getting thanked for that tip.
And of course, we're gonna add a little salt, a little pepper here as well.
And Tom, I just want to answer your question. Is flank steak generally a tougher steak? Anything that it's leaner. Anything that has less fat in it is always going to be a little bit tougher, but if you cook it like this in a wet method, I guess you call it,
moist cooking method.
Moist cooking method, it's going to be a little bit moister, it'll pull apart a little bit easier, and especially after surgery, if you don't tolerate things that are a little bit drier like steak or even grilled chicken, you can throw it into a pot like this and do something just like this.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
So also keep in mind too, guys, when you think about tenderness of meat, is you always want to consider what part of the animal it comes from. So, for example, a leg muscle, which is used much more often by a cow, is going to be tougher versus, say, a tenderloin, which is from the back of the spine right up here, is used much much less. So therefore, the fibers aren't as tough. So really important to consider too of where on the animal itself it comes from. So not only does the fat content help keep the meat moist, but also the cooking method as well as where on the animal it's located.
Okay.
All right, so next up, so we're gonna let this, bring this up to a boil, drop it down to a simmer, cook it for about 3 to 4 hours until that flank steak is, you'll see it literally starts to separate. Just a very natural separation. Again, you don't have to pull it. Should have very little tension in that flank steak. So next up, Then we're going to do a Osaka salad. Dr. Bello, if you'd like to take the honors here.
There are people out there that want Dr. Bello to work.
Yeah. All right. Well, you're up, man.
Hands on. So what's Akaka? What's Akaka, actually?
Yes, thank you.
Akaka.
Please.
That's our version of a guacamole. It's just a little bit more salad-like, as opposed to dip-like.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what do
we need?
So you've got the ingredients, man. You've got your avocados over here.
Avocados, all right.
You've got 4 fresh, beautiful avocados.
A lot of people ask about avocados and if you can eat them after surgery. Yes, you can in small amounts. They have a lot of fat in them. They have a lot of calories. So you just want to look at the serving size, about 1/4 of an avocado.
Yep. And you'll see here, guys, notice how he's going very carefully through the avocado. And again, this is also the other very important part here. This quick hit. Again, you don't need to do very much to get that pit out. Really important to use a fresh, ripe avocado. The simplest way to be able to tell if the avocado is ripe or not is...
Here we go. By touching it?
Yes, exactly. So you want to look for that sort of pull in the avocado. Let me grab this fresh one.
That was good.
That
was a good answer.
Is this guy, right? So see this here? One, the color. A non-ripe avocado will be green, right? And won't have as much dark color. Also, you want to see if I press it, if you can sort of see that, notice how it's pushing in. Very, very important. That's one very easy way to tell that it's ripe. If it's overripe, you'll be able to press in immediately with very little tension on the avocado.
Okay. And then we have Justin asking if sous vide would be better for getting tough meat to be tender. And just to let everyone know what sous vide is, or you can, chef,
So,
let's do this.
Sous vide is basically underwater is the simplest way to describe it. It's cooking any sort of meat under a water bath at a controlled temperature. Traditionally using a candy thermometer.
And a plastic
regular
bag.
thermometer
You're throwing
and a plastic
everything in the
bag.
bag.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, yes, I would say absolutely if you want to do a sous vide with this, that would be perfectly fine because you can throw all of the herbs and everything into that bag and it'll infuse, which is nice.
Exactly. So you'll notice here, guys, as well, if you take the rein here, Doctor, describe what you're doing here for the avocado and how you're removing that flesh.
That's easy. The spoon is the easiest way for me, at least, to do it.
Yes.
I'm not a chef, by the way. Chef is my friend.
I'm not a surgeon, by the way.
I am a dietitian.
Yes, exactly.
But yeah, I think the spoon helps, makes it very easy to
Absolutely,
peel everything out.
Absolutely, yeah, yep. You want to ideally, you want to separate that flesh of the avocado from the actual pit of the from the shell of the avocado, from the skin.
Okay, and just to give a little credit in this situation, we have Adriana saying that she gave you she gave the tip for the avocados.
Very good, very good.
Very
good. I give her credit on that one.
Yes. So, and we have a bunch of other people that have joined us. I just want to say
thank you so much, everybody. Really appreciate it. Please keep the comments coming. We love them.
Yes, and Von Key says hi, and Anna Maria, Tanya. All right. And we have some questions of what we're actually cooking. We're cooking a shredded beef dish, a twist on guacamole, and cauliflower rice, and a little bit of a salsa to put on top. I did not use the Spanish words.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Bello, for that avocado demonstration.
Very good.
So next up, guys, we're going to go ahead and mince our onion, so a single whole onion here. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and grab in here. Be very careful. Again, keep your knuckles tucked in.
Yes,
straight down the middle.
Do. I have cut myself twice in the last week.
Cooking?
Cooking, and cutting apples and things like that. My breakfast.
So we're going to remove our onion skin here as well.
Okay. And as he's doing that, why don't you tell us a little bit about, in Venezuela, where did you grow up? What was the food like? How is it different from here?
Very different. So I grew up in the capital, Caracas, okay? And it's a pretty large city. Okay? 10 million people, and we have a lot of influence from the United States. Believe it or not, Caracas, Florida flight is only 2.5 hours.
Oh, wow.
So it's not that far, okay? So the influence we get from the United States is pretty big. Obviously, we have a lot of influence from Europe, who were a Spanish colony, etc. But Yeah, we grew up eating a lot of food that has some sort of influence from the United States. However, we eat a lot of, as you said, rice, plantains, grains, starches, corn.
Yes.
One of the favorite dishes in Venezuela is actually called arepa, and it's one of those things that is made of corn flour, so it wasn't very healthy enough to be done or showcased here. Okay,
right.
But it's one of those things that we eat a lot. We don't, pretty much.
And you might be able to even do an arepa with something like a cloud bread dough or a fathead bagel dough. I know it's a little bit weird, but if anyone ever wanted to try it, you could.
Yeah.
You know, you
can
get
get
away
creative.
with it.
You can still get creative, but for us, we've been eating that for what, 3 decades or something. It's kind of hard to try that much. Try something so different.
And I do get a lot of patients who come from different backgrounds. Following this diet is kind of difficult for them, so you really do have to manipulate some of the things that we recommend. However, in most countries, I would say that having a protein of some sort is pretty traditional. So that's kind of nice.
Yes. So real quick, from a traditional standpoint, should I be mashing the avocados like a guacamole? You want it more leave it like whole and diced?
Diced.
Okay.
Just diced would be great. Big chunks.
Sure. Gotcha.
Yes.
That'll do it. Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
So see what I'm doing here, guys? So couple key things to note there. One, if you're going to make a dish like this, you want to be as close to as authentic as possible. Fortunately, we have someone here who can demonstrate that to us. Also, from a rough chopping perspective, what we want to do is just do a really kind of quick mash with our spatula here, and then we'll do a quick fold to avoid breaking up those additional chunks.
That looks
So you want this to be
beautiful.
sort of nice big chunks of avocado in here.
And Mary's asking, do we have to use beef for this? I don't tolerate beef well anymore. And I don't know if you came on earlier, but using these moist cooking methods where you're really making the beef kind of fall apart is better for tolerating. But if you want to avoid it altogether, you can absolutely. I mean, I would say you could use pretty much.
Absolutely. Anything you can shred, maybe even shred chicken.
Yeah, absolutely.
Chicken, even like a nice flaky white fish, I would think. If you're vegetarian, you can even chop up some tofu. I know a lot of people don't eat tofu, but you know how I feel about tofu. I like it. So yeah, you can even do that. Now, I'm dying to know, do your kids like the Venezuelan food better or the American food better?
I don't want to say better, but they do like Venezuelan food.
Okay,
Hope they're
that's
watching.
very
They,
cool.
they do like, like we're cooking today, the pavillon, they definitely like it. They're all rice eaters just because that's what we're raised. But the arepas is a favorite for the kids.
Okay,
every
very
morning.
cool.
So, not every morning, but some mornings. And yeah, we try to introduce all those foods to them.
It's a very open mind.
Yeah, absolutely. They like it.
Yep, so we're going to do a small dice, guys, for this bell pepper. You'll see I just did a quick seeding of the bell pepper. And again, we just want to focus on, for your small dice, we want to focus on nice thin slices. And then from here, line them up with the edge of your blade. And then just go straight through. Again, taking your time, no need to rush.
One of the things I like in the Akaka sometimes, I don't know if it's in the recipe, but a little bit of vinegar goes a long way.
It's funny that you mentioned that because there is actually going to be vinegar in the Akaka.
What type of
Oh,
vinegar
really?
do you like?
So I use a little bit of vinegar sometimes and a cumin.
Oh yeah,
Some
nice.
choice of cumin makes it
Yeah.
stands out very nicely.
Do you have a
Absolutely.
vinegar that you prefer though? Like
That's a
a
good
red or a
What for
rice
this white vinegar?
or
Yeah.
white vinegar?
Yeah,
Okay.
this one white vinegar.
White
Nice.
vinegar.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Okay.
Excellent. Right. So we're gonna
Now
do
I
the
think
tomato next.
I think that having the surgeon here is very interesting because I get to ask him questions like this.
Go for it.
You know, as we look at our surgeons, we think of them as like perfection, right? I know that everyone thinks of them as perfection. What are some of the
Really?
I'm telling you, I've talked to you guys, I know that we do. What are some eating challenges that you have? You know, with it.
Oh, my wife will be writing right now. But my thing is chocolate.
Chocolate.
I'm guilty of chocolate right now. I mean, I do fall for chocolate very easily.
Yeah.
So I have to keep it out of my house, you know.
So not
under
even
control.
Yeah.
I'm very easy with that. So that's one of the many things.
Okay. And you guys know what I call that. I call that a trigger food, right? So having those trigger foods out of the house is a great tip.
Don't buy them. I mean, I eat them, but then I try not to have them home and buy a lot of it. It's just
special occasions and everything.
Try to call it treats. But
Exactly.
Yeah.
that's it.
Yep, so again guys, for the tomato here, just going to do a nice thin slice. We really want to match the size of our bell pepper with the size of our tomato as well. So again, keep the fingertips tucked in.
So you get rid of all the center.
Okay. Oh,
Exactly.
Adriana said it. She already said that you're a chocoholic.
Sneaks downstairs at night. Nobody's looking, he thinks.
I'll tell you. And I like dark chocolate as well.
Dark chocolate,
Yeah,
yeah.
dark, that's-
Like that bite, yeah.
Yep, that's my favorite.
All right, so next we got our green onion here as well. Green onion. This is just going to be thinly sliced.
Okay. Looks nice. And do you ever use any protein bars to fill that sweet tooth of yours?
Oh yes.
Which ones are your favorite? Because I know which ones your favorite are. I see him eating them in the office.
I tell you, I can't say. I mean, I tell this to all my patients all the time, and I think protein bars or any other protein supplement is excellent. Whether
Yes.
shakes or bars, even for anybody trying to reach 80, 90, or 100 grams of protein every day is a hard task.
Very difficult.
Not just because you had a sleeve or you had a bypass, it's hard on you. It's hard for everyone. Just get to 80 or 100 grams of protein. It's just difficult to do.
Right.
And trying to taking 20 of those 100 grams quickly on the go, that goes a long way. So I do use one bars. That's the one I like.
Yep, the one bars.
I like several flavors, although the one that seems like I like the most is the blueberry cobbler.
Ah, blueberry cobbler
That's my
one
favorite,
bars. I guess
yeah.
we're all gonna have to go out and try them.
That's my favorite one. And not all the time, every day, but I do occasionally squeeze in a power crunch.
I knew it.
as
I knew
well.
he was gonna say it.
That's the one that gives me the little bit of the chocolate part of it. I like the
Yes.
peanut butter fudge one.
Yes.
And I try not to, because those are like 5 grams of sugar on those. It's a little bit more
Yeah.
cartoon stuff, but when I need a treat as opposed to going and get a chocolate, I just get a power crunch.
Power crunch.
That does it for me. Yeah.
Yes,
It's a nice snack.
beautiful. Okay, cool. And if you're wondering about mine, I love Power Crunch as well, but I can't have too many in the vicinity because it's too good. They're too good. I can
they're
only
too
have
good.
one around at a time.
I will agree with that.
All right, so Mike's been working
Yeah,
really
guys,
hard
nice.
over here while Dr. Bello and I have been chit-chatting. This
Yeah,
is
guys.
how it goes in my kitchen. I let
awesome
my
there.
husband
Yeah, thank
cook
you.
while I
Notice
do the
bright,
chit-chatting.
bright, fresh colors. I add a little bit of salt and pepper. Keep in mind, guys, you can always add more. It's much harder to actually take away. Very, very important.
Okay. All right, we have some agreement about the blueberry cobbler one
Awesome.
bars.
Who is that?
This is Katie Shiflett.
Nice.
Okay. All right.
And add just a
Yeah,
little
we got
touch
a lot
here,
of
red wine
people.
vin. Again, not a lot. About a tablespoon's worth of red wine vinegar. You don't need a lot. That's going to go a long way. Plus, we're putting some more acid in here to begin with the limes.
Beautiful.
I'd much rather get my acid from the lime than I would from the vinegar.
So what do you rub before cutting?
Ah,
What kind of trick is that?
that actually helps break up the flesh of the lime.
Really?
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. If you do a quick, just with the palm of your hand here, do a quick roll. It helps make it easier to squeeze it.
What about doing a little like zest?
Yeah, you can add a little bit of
Just
zest in. I'd be careful. You don't want any real big pieces in there because you bite into a big piece of raw lime. Not gonna
I
be
guess
good.
that's
You'll
not
know.
the best.
Trust me.
It's gonna go well.
It will be unmistakable.
Yeah. All right, and Tanya is a Quest girl. She likes Quest bars. I like Quest bars when they're microwaved or cut up and baked. I think that those are the best.
Just a touch of hot sauce in here. Again, a little bit. Keep in mind, you can always add more as you need to. Again, guys, to help keep this larger chunks of avocado, we're just going to go straight through here and do a fold. There we go. That looks
And just for anyone just tuning in, we are making a salad to go alongside our pulled beef dish. The salad is called a Akaka salad, and it is basically from Venezuela. It's almost like a guacamole, but it has a few more things in it.
Yeah, it's a bit harder. How would you describe it there, Dr. Bello?
very chunky guacamole, I would say.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I prefer the chunky. I don't like a smooth guacamole.
All right, so next up, guys, we are going to do, you know the favorite, it's going to be a little cauliflower rice. So super, super simple here. What we want to do is we have our food processor. We want to grab our head of cauliflower here, cut straight down the middle. You just want to start breaking down these heads. You'll see I'm just kind of viewing the inside of the cauliflower, very slowly cutting these.
And if you're a little lazier like I am, you can definitely get the big bag of riced cauliflower that's already frozen.
Yep.
And we got 45 viewers.
Thank you much,
awesome.
guys. We appreciate it.
Is this a record, maybe? I think so.
We're getting there.
Okay.
Nice.
And Amy just came on. Amy had joined us a couple of sessions ago.
Great to see you again, Amy.
Melissa's back. Chunky is the only way to eat it.
Chunky. Nice.
Yep. Donna.
Yes, it is.
And Gary and Charday, thank you so much for joining us.
All right, guys, so we're going to go ahead for our cauliflower rice here. I've got my Roboku here, food processor. You may have heard about a couple different terms. Just going to add a couple chunks in.
And just as you're doing that, Anna Maria had asked about RX bars, and I've heard a lot about these, and I've seen them in the grocery store. Technically, they are good for you because they're made with very minimal ingredients, but the main ingredient is dates, which are very high in sugar, so you want to avoid those. Any of the dried fruit products you're going to be avoiding.
All right. The nice thing here, guys, is we want to make sure, really the key caveat here to watch out for is you want to be able to watch out for larger pieces of cauliflower. There we go.
And this is kind of a finer cauliflower rice. If you make it in, that's another thing. If you make it in the Roboku or any of your food processors, you're always going to usually get a finer product. If you want the bigger pieces, then you get the stuff that's already pre-made.
Exactly.
Yeah. And Mary says that she's definitely going to get the cauliflower rice that's pre-made.
Oh, that's great.
And rejoined us. Amy, you're fine. You are right on time.
All right.
Okay.
Wonderful. That is what we are looking for right there, guys.
Okay.
This is what we are looking for right here. See how that's nice and chopped up? So that's nice and even. Almost looks like it's riced. That's what you want.
Okay.
All right.
So what are we putting in this cauliflower rice?
So our
Let's
cauliflower
see.
rice, we are going to do some garlic, a little onion, bell peppers.
You know, a lot of people in my classes talk about just doing the cauliflower rice plain, but I gotta tell you, I prefer it with some garlic. I mean, I guess I prefer everything with garlic, but it really kind of brightens up the sweetness of the cauliflower itself.
Absolutely. I agree.
Okay, and Ladrea joined us, Dee and Shervana. Okay, we got some comments on your height.
There you go.
I know that I knew this was gonna happen.
Do not adjust your cameras.
So Dr. Bello is tall, so is Dr. Dovek.
Jana
And
and
that's
I
just the way it
are a
is.
little shorter.
We are a little shorter.
A little shorter. I'm not wearing any sort of step-ups or anything. These are my actual height.
It makes for great TV.
No camera
what can I
tricks.
say? And we are up to 50 viewers.
Thank you so much, guys.
so
We appreciate it.
much.
Please make sure you share this video as well. We really appreciate the views. All right, so we're going to do some little minced garlic here and a little thinly sliced onion next.
Okay, and just to address one of the comments from Anna Maria, that if you have surgery, that long-term, you know, in terms of your organs and your health, things can start breaking down. I have something to say about that, but I'm going to start, and then you can kind of complete my thought. We give you specific evidence-based research guidelines that you have to follow after you get the surgery. It's up to you to follow them. So these are based on years and years of research in terms of the health of your body after surgery. So taking your vitamins and minerals, getting your fluids in, getting your proteins in, even just getting regular updates with your doctor and checking your blood levels and getting prescriptions if you're low in anything. So that is what's going to keep the health of the body up over time with the surgery. Am I right?
Right on point, I think.
Okay.
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of these recommendations, some of them have good evidence, some of them has great evidence, but nonetheless, I think has proven to work, and that's the most important thing.
Absolutely, and I would almost say that the results of losing the weight versus keeping the weight on is what actually makes you healthier over time. You know, so if you were to compare the body with all of the weight, you know, over the course of 50, 60 years versus without the weight after the surgery, that's where you see the benefits. Yeah. All right.
So is this a Sofrito here?
Yeah, this is actually going to be our cauliflower rice.
Oh, rice, okay.
Start off with, and Sofrito will be right behind it, actually.
It's similar though.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, and we put the Sofrito right on. I guess you could put it on anything because it's like a salsa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So do you have any advice for patients? Just in general, things that you've seen over the years that have worked?
In general.
In general.
Any particular topic about it?
I would say with weight loss success and just keeping it off and staying healthy in general. Maybe even coming to your checkups, you know, your 1 years and your 2 years and everything like that. Anything that you can think of.
I'll tell you, coming to the checkups definitely helps. You know, and we see that unfortunately after a year or two of having surgery, only a few patients come back to see us again. I mean, that's even though we ask them to come, you know, pretty much for life every year. And in reality, some data have shown that if you keep coming every year, you will eventually, it helps you stay on track, okay?
Okay.
You know, after a while, sometimes we kind of get too comfortable with our weights and we start doing things that maybe we're not supposed to do.
Sure, old habits.
Yeah, and then very slowly but surely, some of these weight starts creeping up again. And you might not notice it until it's too late, until you put on so much weight. So eventually, making it to your year appointments, we might be able to help you pick up some of those things and try to help you go back on track. So
and I've gotten plenty of referrals from, like if you see Dr. Bello at your 1 year, your 5 year, whatever it is, plenty of referrals from Dr. Bello to me.
All the time.
Maybe not even for weight regains, maybe for you know, low levels of vitamin D, you know, just kind of getting back on track in general, getting updates on some of the guidelines. So it's always good to come to your checkups. And what about the body scanning machine? I've gotten a lot of questions about that.
I'll tell you, I'm super excited about that.
Yeah.
It's really exciting. It is funny, but you know, up until now, the only way we can measure success or progress is stepping on a scale.
Right.
As we know, the scale is really mean most of the time. And
I'm getting some looks, yeah.
It doesn't tell the whole story. So sometimes we're making progress, the scale just doesn't say. Right? And this is where the body scanner helps a lot. You get scanned and you see your body as a whole transforming over time. So you can see with a tenth of an inch of accuracy how much have your body transformed in different areas. So I think I'm super excited. I can't wait to start seeing the patients who have been scanned before surgery to start showing up for the 8-week appointments and 6-month appointments and see the differences.
Yeah,
I think
so they're not getting it at the 1 week, they're getting it at the 8 weeks.
At the 8 weeks, yes. And I think that's going to be very motivating for patients and keeping engaged. So I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I do have to say one thing about the body scanner is that especially if you're exercising, lifting any weights, and you're not seeing major drops on the scale, but you're seeing that your lean muscle mass has increased and your fat has decreased, you are going to be burning extra calories. So over time, you will lose more weight.
No doubt, no doubt.
Yeah, so that's a success.
Agreed.
All
right, guys. So we've got our cauliflower rice rocking and rolling here. We've got the onions, the bell peppers. We're sautéing those, getting them soft. So sauté, it's a culinary term. Little to no color and over just a minimal amount of oil. So you really want to watch your heat there. That's a really important thing to control. So we've got our cauliflower rice working here. You can see I've been coming back and adding a little bit more oil to the pan. That's just a matter of not wanting anything to burn. So next up, let me go ahead and slide this guy over.
Okay.
This.
Let's see if...
All right, so we're gonna start our sofrito next. So this is going to be another, if you want to give a quick description, Dr. Bello, of sofrito?
Sofrito has a lot of, you can apply that term to many things, okay, in our country actually, but essentially it's something that you can top dishes with, okay, something that you can put on the side, as a side dish and have it, something that you can dip things on, so you can use sofrito many different ways.
I didn't know that you could have it on its own and just, I mean, I guess you could have anything on its own, but that sounds delicious.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You can have it on its own as a side dish, or for the most part, we use it as topping dishes. Okay, with for the most part, and it is very simple to make, and applies a lot of color to the dishes you're making. So it's really nice.
Wonderful. And I do have a message from Adriana.
Uh-oh.
It's just all of your kids saying hi.
Where are you?
Hi, kids.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So we got our bell pepper here. We got our onion here. Dr. Bello, if you'd like to do the honor here, I'll pop this guy in. Pop this guy in if you want to keep an eye on this.
I will.
Wonderful. A little extra virgin olive oil in here as well. All right, we're going to go ahead and pop the bell pepper in here too. That'd be great.
Okay, and then just a comment from Maria. You do get to see your doctor at your annual appointment.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And welcoming Kathy. And
it's going to start to smell really good in a second here, guys.
Yes, it is. Oh, and
the audience is salivating, friends.
And I do want to congratulate Gary had gotten his shirt today. So
wonderful news, Gary.
Good job, Gary.
I want to give you a congratulations, but I also want to give a quick congratulations to Mike because he does deserve his shirt. I did forget the shirt today, but I am presenting it to you next time.
Oh, wonderful.
Okay?
Thank you.
So, yes, you do deserve the shirt, and I forgot it. What can you do?
Yeah, happens. It's not going anywhere.
It's not going anywhere. And you're not going anywhere either.
Exactly. Exactly. So guys, real quick for these tomatoes, I want to seed them. So what you want to do is cut your tomato in 4, so quarter it, and then slowly come underneath the tomato and remove the seeds.
Okay, and the recipes, by the way, are posted on the page. And we can repost them as well since the they kind of get lost sometimes. Okay, and Pam just got her Body by Bello t-shirt today.
That's great.
Well.
Congratulations,
Very
Pam.
Good.
Oh. All right.
Okay, and Christopher got his as well. But
that's great.
We're ordering more so he can really physically get his.
Oh. Give the cauliflower rice a quick stir. That'd be fantastic. All right. Some habaneros. All right, so for our habaneros here, guys, habaneros really on a sort of medium scale in terms of heat. Nowhere near, much hotter than traditional bell peppers. But there are other peppers out there that are much hotter than this. Ghost peppers, scorpion peppers, all that fun stuff.
Don't try them at home.
Yeah, be ready. It's heat's an interesting thing for the sleeve, that's for sure.
Okay, and hello, LaTanya. Thank you for joining. Kathy's asking why no seeds.
Great question. So one, it's really hard to digest. You don't want to, you just get that weird bite as well. They'll burn a lot faster because they're a lot smaller. And just generally they're inedible. I really think the other stores are really main point.
Okay, and according to your wife, you are missing taco night
right
now.
Womp womp. All right, so
Adriana,
here's
I like your comments. This is fun.
So here is our finished product.
Okay, cool.
For our shredded pabellon criollo.
Yes, TV
so this
magic,
is,
right?
see this, guys? See this deliciousness right here? See how that's nice and shredded? I know, I see Missy go.
Especially the way you're holding it.
Oh, dear Lord. It looks delicious.
It looks nice.
Yeah. Yep. So super simple here, guys.
For example, sofrito sometimes we dice it a little smaller, as opposed to juliennes. We do like little dice. We put just scrambled eggs on.
Ooh.
Okay, and that makes it a nice dish too.
Oh, so that's a great dish.
So we use Sofrito for a lot of things. Yeah.
So Sofrito over the scrambled eggs, or you could do
It's mixed up. I'm supposed to put in the beef
mix
in there.
it right up. Okay.
You mix it right up, but as opposed to juliennes, you just chop it nice and fine.
Beautiful.
So I'm
That
going to
sounds great.
finish both of these guys off with a little bit of cilantro. Keep in mind, guys, you'll notice one of the important things we're doing here as well is we're really building these flavors. So I added my garlic first, I added my onion second. The other important thing too is that when you think about a dish, like for example, for our Papa John Criollo here, is that you want to keep in mind of how everything looks, right? Really important thing to note. So for example, I julienned my bell peppers here because I want them to look like the same size and same view, same optics as the shredded beef. Because if I dice them, it would look unpleasing to the eye, right?
Okay.
Important thing to note. Fun little behind the scenes, if you will.
And would a poblano be a good sub for a habanero?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. If you want to notch that heat down, you can with a poblano. If you want to ratchet it up and go up to a ghost pepper, scorpion pepper, what have you, go for it. It's all a matter of preference in that situation.
Yes. And I guess you gotta watch if you're not tolerant of the spicy foods.
Yep. Go slow with bell pepper. With
Definitely
hot pepper.
not within the first 6 months.
Yes.
Very good.
Stay well away from it.
Exactly.
Yes.
You will know, and you will not be happy. All right, so we're gonna finish both these dishes off with some just fresh sliced cilantro. I love cilantro.
Me too. I'm there.
Nice little rough chop.
I could put cilantro on basically anything. You know, some people don't tolerate cilantro very well in terms of taste because of a DNA trait. They actually taste it soapy.
Yep.
So it tastes soapy.
I have heard that.
Yeah. Thankfully, I don't have that. Anyone out there have the soapy gene? Oh.
Uh-oh.
I think.
Uh-oh.
She might.
Adriana, do you have the soapy gene?
She might.
All right.
It's a constant fight. Too much cilantro, too little. It's like,
Yeah.
well, this looks great.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right. So now comes the fun part, the plating.
Yes. And Mike, while you're plating this, I have a very interesting question for you
Sure.
from Chris. Are there foods that you liked before surgery that you didn't like after surgery, or vice versa?
Ooh, chicken. Chicken is one for me that is, I love chicken, but it's one of those dishes one of those proteins that for me, after surgery, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's all a matter of kind of how it's prepared. I prefer more milder preparations for chicken
Interesting.
after
Is it
surgery.
because of the texture and how it sits in your stomach, or the taste?
More so the taste than the texture, but it sort of play a very even role.
That's really good information for me because I do get a lot of patients that cannot tolerate chicken, whether it is the taste or the texture or just how it digests. So it's good to see. Anyone else have
It's too
chicken
dry
issues?
sometimes, hard times swallowing it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dry, when it's dry mostly?
Yes.
Yeah.
I gotta have some
Alright.
kind of salsa in it.
Yeah. And then Tanya even, she was saying that she can only tolerate the dark meat since it's a little more moist than the
Yep.
white meat.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have heard that as well. All right, guys. I'm going to just finish plating this bad boy up.
Yeah. So the softer you cook it, the better.
Absolutely.
You know, and even,
That's when
yeah.
sous vide works really
Oh,
well.
yeah.
yes, the
Agreed.
sous vide,
Because
yep.
chicken is very easy to dry up when you're cooking on a can or oven, but with sous vide, it never happens.
Right, because it's just
Yeah.
in that water and I also want to just mention going back to the basics of taking, the tiniest bite and really chewing 25 times. A lot of people forget about that stuff because it's annoying. I understand, but it's easy and it's easier to forget about. But if you go back to those things, and when I say a tiny bite, I mean the size of a jelly bean. Okay, and really chewing it until it's like a puree, like a baby food.
Mm-hmm.
And you might be able to tolerate it just slightly better with that.
Yeah.
All right. All right,
Okay.
guys.
That looks great.
You guys want to swing
Wow.
around?
Sure. Okay, so we have our taste testers back on the stage.
Grab a couple forks here, friends.
Okay.
Good. I'm going to hand these over. One side. Jana.
Yes, I'm sorry. Okay. So
More?
we're going to go right here.
Yeah, somebody come
Yeah.
over here. Well.
Well, my husband was very interested in the plating.
Ah, yes.
He said I need to see him plate it.
Okay. And Dr. Bello, do you want to share with me? Or Tina, you want to share?
So grab a fork as well. There's one more over here.
Okay.
I have this every day, it's
Fork.
alright.
You could pass me a fork there, Jenna.
Yes, I'm sorry.
That would be wonderful. Thank you so much.
Okay.
All right. Thank
Oh
you
wait,
very
I
much.
passed
Got it?
all of the forks.
Got 'em all?
Now
There
I
you
know.
go.
Got one more down.
Got one, got one. There
I'm
you go.
slacking on my duties.
Yeah, guys.
Okay.
All
Sorry
right.
about
Let's do a
that.
little, do a little dig in here.
Let's try it.
Mmm. Mmm.
It smells delicious.
Mhm.
Good.
Yeah, I'm gonna try this. This is
Mm.
my favorite.
Very
Let's
good.
see.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
What's Akaka is excellent.
Thank you.
Really good, yeah.
Oh, that's a high
I'll
compliment.
take it.
Yep.
All
I'll
right.
take it.
That's really good.
Yeah,
Very
absolutely.
So for anyone that is just joining us, why don't we just quickly explain what you cooked so they know?
Sure. All right, guys. So for our dish this evening, we prepared a traditional Venezuelan dish known as a pabellon criollo. This is a shredded flank steak that we braised, and then we cooked it in a sofrito with some bell pepper, a little habanero, a little fresh tomato. Served it with a little Akaka.
Got it right.
Got it, yeah, for the win. So that's sort of a fresh avocado salad, and it's going to be more of a chunky avocado, traditional mashed guacamole. This has got some great, again, bell pepper, tomato, and we served that with a little cauliflower rice. So this is a traditional Venezuelan dish from our fantastic guest star here, Dr. Bello. You guys have to show off his
Thanks, Mom.
cuisine in the kitchen. And again, guys, it's such a great time. We would say again, big thank you to ABC2 for letting us use their wonderful kitchen space, our wonderful taste testers, Tina and Missy. Great seeing you ladies.
Thank you.
And Jana, do you want
Yes,
to take it
thank
away?
you so much. And
Yeah.
I just want to give a huge thank you to Dr. Bello for taking the time out of your
Oh, no.
extremely busy schedule to be with us today. We really appreciate it, and it makes the patients feel awesome. So thank you so
No,
much.
thanks for having me. I'd love
Yeah.
to do it again.
Absolutely,
Yes.
yeah. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Thank you so much for tuning
Thanks for
in,
watching.
everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you to GBMC Marketing Department. Have a great evening. Good night.
Good
All
night.
right.
night.
All right. Cue the band.
Cue the band.